How's it going, everybody? My name is Mulder, and welcome to GameChron, your #1 stop on tips and tricks on your favorite video games. Today we're going to be talking about Destroy All Humans gameplay tips and tricks part 4, the final video we'll be doing on this game. In this video, we'll talk about the 3 boss battles you're going to encounter at the tail end of the game. Those boss battles are against the Robo Prez, Silhouette, and Armquist. I'll also go over what abilities I've upgraded to Crtypo at full power, along with what abilities I've upgraded at full strength for his flying saucer. All that and more straight ahead. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for a lot more. There will be some spoilers ahead, so keep that in mind. Now, without further ado, let's dive into our Destroy All Humans gameplay tips and tricks part 4.
You can run, you little freak, but you can't hide.
Who's hiding? Let's get funky.
Before we get into the boss battles, let's talk about what abilities I've upgraded for Crtypo, both for him and his flying saucer. For Crtypo, I've maxed out his disintegration ray at full power, and I've also his ion detonator at full power. I can't stress this enough that you need to get his disintegration ray at full strength, because once you do, it actually allows you to shoot 3 beams of light out of the disintegration ray along with increased damage. The ion detonator is excellent for crowd control as before, but now every time it detonates, it slows down time for you to then dodge incoming attacks while also doing enough damage yourself. These 2 primary weapons, along with anything left over to upgrade maybe your Zap-O-Matic, you need to focus on these guns. You'll need them in the boss battles. Next up is the flying saucer. Now, the 4 weapons I've upgraded at max for the flying saucer is the death ray at full strength, the Repulsotron at full power, sonic boom, and of course the quantum deconstructor. All these abilities for both Crtypo and his flying saucer you need to have at least close enough to max strength before you take on these bosses, if you want to have an easier time taking them down. And now let's talk about the 3 unique boss battles you're going to encounter in this game in the order in which you'll face them. The first one is Armquist. Now, the general of the army will fight you in his own customized mech. This mech will have 3 lightning bolts representing the 3 levels of his health that you need to take down. Keep in mind, other bosses that you'll encounter in this game will have the same type of structure of health. When taking on Armquist at the beginning of this match, immediately switch over to your disintegration ray and blast at him. Make sure you're dodging side to side, dodging his miniguns, along with the fact that anytime he shoots missiles at you, grab a hold of them with your psychokinesis and throw them back at him. Knocking out his first level of health is pretty easy to do, but once you then reach to his second level of health, this is where things get a little bit more crazy. He'll begin to chase after you and charge at you across the map, also slamming the ground like a Hulk-style fashion of attack. The blast and just sheer shockwave of this attack, if it lands on you, can be devastating to your character. Not only that, he'll be summoning in minions to help fight you. You'll notice there are going to be crates lying around the field. You can either destroy these crates yourself by simply materializing them into ammo, or wait for the enemies nearby to blow them up. When you find yourself surrounded by a bunch of enemies, switch over to your ion detonator. The ion detonator not only can do damage to Armquist, but also completely wipe out any enemies in the area. If you find things to be too hot on the ground, immediately fly up to the hangar to where you can use cover and just blast enemies from atop. The only person who's going to be able to blast you off that roof is of course Armquist. He'll begin to shoot rockets off of his back that can land in certain areas depending upon where you'll see the glow of orange. These missiles can do heavy damage to you, but luckily you'll have a few seconds to get out of the way before they land. If you're really low on ammo, try to catch his missiles with your psychokinesis and blast at him. Or better yet, if you have enemy soldiers in the area with rocket launchers, let them shoot their rockets at you, catch them, and throw them at Armquist. Once you get Armquist down to his 3rd level of health, this is where he's going to activate his mech at full power and just go on a killing spree. He'll be shooting grenades and rockets everywhere, along with blasting you with his machine guns at full power. You notice over here on the map there's a statue of a boat right in the middle of the field. You can actually use this statue of cover when he's launching his missiles into the air to crash on the ground. Simply hug the bottom of the statue and shoot at him from side to side while he's trying to take aim at you. Use your psychokinesis to throw heavy objects at him while also blasting him with your disintegration ray, and you will take down Armquist in no time.
Really?
I guess, at the end of the day, we really are all just human beings.
Psych. Pathetic human.
Now let's talk about Robo Prez. Now, Robo Prez you'll be fighting in your flying saucer. At the start of this match, immediately start blasting Robo Prez with either your sonic boom or your death ray. I will say you want to hang on to your quantum deconstructor for a little later in this fight. Robo Prez will be shooting at you with heavy machine guns from his arms, summoning down balloon bombs that will lock onto you if you get too close, and he'll be shooting out a large laser beam out from his chest. His major weak point is of course the brain at the top of the machine. Simply fly side to side to dodge his incoming attacks. Whenever he's firing his laser beam up into the air, simply fly low to the ground to dodge it. Another thing too is that he will be shooting missiles out of his arms as well. This is where your Repulsotron at max level is going to come in handy. You'll be able to deflect these missiles incoming if you can press the button in time. It really comes in handy to have this at least at level 2 or level 3 before you fight this guy. Don't be afraid to unleash all your ammunition that you have off of your ship, say for example all your sonic boom attacks. Once you've weakened RoboPrez down to the 2nd level of health, he'll run off to another destination on the map. While you're following him, you can start blasting him with your death ray. The fact that his 2nd level of health is vulnerable, you can actually start getting a little head start on his health damage. Along the way, keep your eyes open for floating spawning ammunition in the sky. Now at the second stage of this battle, this is where things are gonna get a little tough. He'll begin to summon large bunches of these balloon bombs that once they lock onto you, they could do massive damage if you don't repulse them in time. Along with the fact that he will try to position himself where enemy soldiers and AA guns are gonna be on the ground. This is where your quantum deconstructor can come in handy. Depending upon what level you're at with this weapon, try to fire at least 2 shots at him. It is best to save at least 1 to 2 shots left for the next stage of this fight. Now one of the biggest problems with this boss battle is that your ship's shields are going to take a lot of damage quickly. If you find yourself in deep trouble, simply break away from the battle and look for abandoned vehicles on the ground, and zap them out of energy to restore your shields. One thing to bear in mind is that as you're doing this, watch out for incoming enemy missiles. The further you're away from RoboPrez, the more missiles he's going to shoot at you, but your Repulsotron is going to be able to deflect these missiles easily if you hit the right time. Another thing to keep in mind is that in the midst of the battle with this guy, if you're losing health pretty quickly off of your shields and there's no vehicles around, look down on the ground for small enemy mechs. Immediately start zapping these mechs out of health while also still attacking RoboPrez. The only time you should focus on any enemies that are shooting at you are the AA guns. Don't worry about enemy vehicles at the ground, simply zap onto them to regain your ship's shields while still attacking the main boss. Once you've knocked RoboPrez down to his 3rd level of health, this is where it's going to get even more crazy. He'll begin to make his run towards the Pentagon. Once he arrives, there's going to be plenty of AA guns around the area that you need to take out first. The next big thing is that he'll be dropping tons of these balloon bombs all around him every few minutes. This is where a few of your quantum deconstructor rounds should come in handy. Simply fire these few quantum deconstructor rounds right on top of him, and the balloons in the surrounding area will get hit by the blast as well. He'll be summoning around 2 to 3 enemy mechs on the ground to shoot at you as well. But like I stated a few moments ago, lock onto them and start draining them so your shields can be replenished. Those little bots are going to be your lifesaver throughout this fight. I can't tell you how many times I got so close to my ship being destroyed, but luckily because I locked onto these little mechs on the ground and started zapping energy out of them to restore my shields, it saved me just in time. Look out for when he tries to position himself to shoot at his laser beam. Once he starts to do this, immediately fly behind him and start blasting him from behind. RoboPrez is pretty slow in terms of turning to try to lock onto you and shoot him with his laser. Your Repulsotron is going to get its workout at this final part of the fight as well. He'll be shooting tons of missiles at you while also trying to dodge those balloon bombs. Simply keep locking onto enemy mechs and drain them out of their health to regain your shields, and keep blasting him from behind with your death ray, dodging his main laser, while also hitting your repulse every single time an enemy missile or balloon gets too close, and you will finally take down this boss in no time.
Man, I love the smell of presidential brains in the morning.
Just remember who set that giant potus of destruction upon you!
But that's not it yet. Now you have to fight Silhouette. Now Silhouette is the leader of Majestic. Now she has a few unique abilities that are the same as yours. For starters, she can lock onto you from a distance with her mind and shoot these little psychic blasts that if they hit you, they'll actually take control of your character, zapping your shields for a short period of time. She'll have 2 plasma machine gun pistols with her that can hit you between close to medium range. But the biggest thing you need to pay attention to is taking down her shield. You need to take down her shield not only for her to stop attacking you, but also do damage to her. The fastest way to do this is to run up to her with your disintegration ray. Because your disintegration ray is at full max power, you'll be able to shoot 3 beams of light and doing more damage. This is the fastest way I've seen so far in knocking out her shield. Once your shield's knocked down, run right up to her and keep blasting her with your disintegration ray. Make sure all 3 shots coming out of your gun are hitting her at the same time. Once you've knocked her down to her 2nd level of health, she'll jump to the left side of the map to where she'll try to regain her power. You'll see this generator giving her energy. Immediately run over there and destroy it. Depending on how quickly you destroy this thing is how much health she's going to have in the 2nd round of this fight. One thing to keep an eye out for is that she'll be summoning minions to come help her, along with the fact there'll be enemy turrets around these generators. But your ion deconstructor can take these all out in no time. Also, another thing to keep in mind is that around these generators is plenty of ammunition. So definitely take one moment to break away from their fight to replenish your ammo. Do not allow Silhouette to get too far away from you. The further away she is from you, the more deadly she can be, especially with her ability to lock onto your mind and damage you psychically. Simply repeat the attack of constantly blasting her shield at close range with your disintegration ray, and then get even closer to make sure all 3 shots are hitting her when her shield's down. Another thing to keep in mind is that during the boss battle fight, whatever's left of RoboPrez in terms of his beam generator is actually going to shoot out towards the field. You know this is about to happen whenever you start to hear his generator chest start to go online, and you'll notice these little safe areas that are covered in purple. If you're caught in the blast of this thing, this can actually wind up weakening your shield down to almost nothing, or just flat out kill you. Keep in mind, if you're able to keep Silhouette out of cover while this is happening, she'll actually take damage too. When enemy minions show up, try to mind control them if you can to where they can help you in the fight. This may take you a couple of tries, but once you've closed the distance and blasted her, she will be done for good, and you've officially beaten the game. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is our Destroy All Humans gameplay tips and tricks part 4, our final video on this game, and we had a blast covering it. I hope you've enjoyed these video series that we've done so far, along with the fact that we just finished up our Rocket Arena video series as well. The next game that we're going to be covering now will be Pathfinder Kingmaker very soon in the next week. We'll be dropping a preview and thoughts video on that game very soon, so be sure to stick around. As always, we'll also be covering big games coming out such as Watch Dogs Legions, Cyberpunk 2077, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Marvel's Avengers, and so much more. If you'd like to join us on that journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for a lot more. I'm Mulder, and I'll see you next time on the GameChron.
Attention, humans. I am Cryptosporidium of the planet Furon. This planet is now a territory of the Furon Empire. Resist this.